Hello everyone, welcome back to another video where I talk about levels and see whether or not I like them. And today's video topic is another sequel video because today's video topic is about bad level remakes 2. Pretty self-explanatory. When a level gets a remake that doesn't meet the expectations of the original by either being worse than the original or it just isn't faithful to the original. Now again, making a good remake is hard, especially when the level is held in high regard, so I gotta give the creators some slack. So I am gonna be a bit harsh when critiquing the level. Once again, these are purely my opinion, and if you don't agree with it, then more power to you. Also, don't send hate to the creators for our levels. Again, making a good remake is hard, so give the creators some slack. And hey, most of these are probably made just for fun. I'm just here to critique and make fun of it for your guys' entertainment. But anyways, with that out of the way, let's start the video starting with... Different descent is... odd. Like, I get why it exists. I mean, heck, Altered Ascent exists and that level's a banger. So I get why someone would want to make different descent. But also... different? Yeah, one of my biggest problems with different descent is the fact that it doesn't really differ much from the original. And in a lot of cases, even makes the part look much worse from the original. In fact, if you told me that Different Descent is an unreleased version of Digital Descent that's not finished, I'd probably believe you. It's very different from something like Altered Ascent where you can definitely see remnants of the original, but you can clearly tell that it's also trying to be something different. Like for example, you can definitely tell that Juho and Ryder's part in Altered Ascent is supposed to be Zobro's part in Artificial Ascent. But you can also definitely see the difference between those parts. Another good example is Sphinx's part is clearly Ezra's part, but again you can definitely tell it's trying to be different, while also being faithful to the original. But Different Descent is like, oh hey, that's just straight up Nescap's part. Who the hell is Dank? And oh hey, it's flat, I mean Surtrack. I'm not saying every part looks the exact same, like some parts do look different, but unfortunately at the same time, the parts that do look different ended up looking worse than the original in my opinion. Speaking of, as I said before, this level just looks worse than Digital Descent. Some parts just look a lot more empty because there are just less decoration in them. Some examples I'll give are... SPK's part looks unfinished compared to Samifying. Props for being different, but I'm not a fan of Lawtat's replacement for Abstract Dark. The Devon's replacement part just looks less busy, which I don't really like. Hell Pegasus just looks like a poor man's Laser Blitz. Kermal's replacement part just feels more lifeless compared to the original. And finally, this one's more of a nitpick, but come on, you can do like a better end screen. This level had promise considering how good Altered Ascent turned out, but unfortunately, I don't think Different Descent lives up to that promise. Necromancer is probably one of the only examples of a level being a remake of a level I don't like, but somehow still fails as a remake. Well, okay, it's not entirely true. The only reason I don't like Necropolis is because I think the gameplay is horrid, and I can't really speak for Necromancer's gameplay because I haven't beat it and I'm basing this purely off of decoration. With that being said, decoration-wise, Necropolis is pretty unique. Like, yeah, it still looks like a 1.8 level due to the limitations, but there are some pretty notable parts like the crosses being so simple yet so iconic. And the simple color changes makes the level feel more lively and it's actually quite charming. Try and guess one of the main reasons I don't like Necromancer. Yeah, so for some reason, Necromancer decided to make the entire level red, making it look more like a Helltheme level. Now, okay, I somewhat kind of get why it's entirely red because ooh, Necromancer is a spooky level name and ooh, red is a spooky color, but like, come on, this makes the entire level look so much more monochrome and dull than the original. Surely you could have like sneak in a little bit of blue or purple in them and make it look somewhat menacing. Because I feel like being entirely red doesn't really represent Necropolis all that well. Unlike something like Necropolis, which I feel like represents Necropolis a whole lot better than Necromancer while being its own thing. But besides that, the level in itself just looks kinda... eh? The entire level just feels a bit dead to me in the wrong way, and I get that the meaning of Necropolis is basically like a cemetery, but it kinda hurts the level and it makes it look more dull and boring. Also doesn't help the fact that I think the decoration mostly looked dirty, at least in the first half, making most of the level just straight up hard to see most of the time, and I get that it's also supposed to be a partially memory level, but I don't think this is the way to do it. But then all of a sudden it gets so bright in the second half for no reason. It feels like you got flashbanged when you get to Platinum's part. Not only that, there are also a couple of questionable decisions made in the level. What I mean by that is that they do one single thing for one part but then never do it again for some reason. Like, for example, in one part there are just suddenly 3 structures moving down out of nowhere, which doesn't happen anywhere else in the level. In fact, this is probably the only time in the level where a structure actually moves, which just feels unfitting compared to the entire level. And the other one is a random pillar flashing for no reason. Again, this is the same problem as the moving structures, where it feels very unfitting to just suddenly have this effect in the level and never do it again. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of Necromancer as a Necropolis remake. Well, what do you want me to say? I guess we should start off by stating the obvious. The gameplay is straight fly galore. Yes, most of the gameplay is straight fly and it is placed on the most obvious places ever. Literally every time there's a ship part, you can probably guess it's replaced by a straight fly. Like, most of the gameplay is still the same as Clubstep, making this level hilariously unbalanced. Like, one moment you're normally playing Clubstep and then boom, straight fly jump scare. I mean, what did you really expect from the same person that brought you Buff This, another straight fly demon? Speaking of, the creator, Boy of the Cones, is an interesting character. He is probably one of the most hated players back in the day, and if I remember correctly, some people even accused him of hacking, which turns out he did. He is also notorious for begging Rooftop to rate his levels, which made some people think that he has some of the worst rated levels ever, and just a whole lot of controversy surrounding him. But anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. We're talking about funny bad Clubstep remake. Another reason I dislike Clubstep Reborn is the fact that the decoration just seems a bit boring. Like, it's a very generic 2.0 red and black hell style. A lot of the parts just look exactly the same, making it look so dull and boring, which once again doesn't help with the fact that the gameplay is so uninteresting. And for some reason, a lot of the block design is just pitch black, making it harder to see. Like, I know they post to white sometimes, but still. Honestly, I don't know what more there is to say. It's a terrible remake of Clubstep that doesn't really do anything special, and in fact, makes Clubstep seem more uninteresting by just spamming straight fly. I think you get the point. Okay, I'm not kidding when I say this, but Dark Dimension might unintentionally be one of the funniest levels I've ever seen and one of the goofiest remakes ever. But let's go over on why I don't really like Dark Dimension as a remake of Black Blizzard. First off, it's a remake of Black Blizzard, one of the most highly regarded levels ever, so making a good remake out of it is one of the hardest feats you could do. And everyone's expectations is going to be high. I think you can guess how I feel about how they executed it. Yeah, I don't know why a lot of remakes do this, but they just turn anything into some sort of glow AP Team Kulak styled level. Not saying I hate those style of levels, but when they use it to remake a level like Black Blizzard, I start having some problems. Cause like, when you try to remake a level like Black Blizzard, making it glow just hurts your level. Black Blizzard works because it's one of the most unique levels ever, and the atmosphere it creates is phenomenal and nothing can really replace it. I'm pretty sure I saw 5 levels that look like Dark Dimension, so already a big disadvantage. And I get the argument that, oh, it's made for fun, but as I've said before in the first bad level remake video, that whether it's made for fun or not, it's not free from criticism. Doesn't mean you need to take every criticism I make seriously. Hell, you can ignore it and I'll be fine. I'm not like a big creator or something. But I do hope that some notes are taken. But anyways, another point I want to make is the fact that Dark Dimension made some pretty questionable decisions on what and what not to put in a remake. One of them is pretty prominent if you've actually looked at the showcase of the level: the abuse of sound effects. I kid you not when I say that I laughed the first time I saw the showcase of this level. Like, 1 second you're looking at a Black Blizzard remake and then out of nowhere a lightning sound effect. I burst out laughing because that was so unexpected and unnecessary. And I know that they said that it can be turned off, but that's not my point. My point is that the sound effects are part of the remake and they chose to showcase it with the sound effects. Another aspect in the remake I kind of find weird is that they replaced the tornado. You know, one of the most iconic parts of Black Blizzard. They still show it, but it's only on its transition, and the replacement for the tornado doesn't even look all that cool in my opinion. It's just a moon in the background. The second drop too feels less chaotic to me than the original, and this one's more of a funny aspect, but they show this big end screen, right? And they name a lot of people, but they somehow forget Kermal? Like, how? They did say to make sure to credit him in an update, but how did you forget the creator of the original level? Listen, I'm telling you, the more I look into this level, the funnier it gets. I still don't like this level as a remake, but I'm glad that it exists to bring me joy in the wrong way. And so those are my picks on what I think are some bad level remakes. Well, that's the end of the video. Did you agree or disagree with my opinion? Maybe there's a level that you think deserves to be in this video. Let me know in the comments below, and maybe I'll put it in a sequel if I ever make one. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe since I'm trying to hit 3K by the end of the year. That's all I have for you today. I'll see you all later. Bye bye.